Assalamualaikum and very good day to our lecturer Puan Zulia and Dr. Nur Asmalina. My name is NurFathihah Binti Muhammad Basri and my partner is Siti Zaharah Binti Zaidi. Today we will be presenting our research proposal on the title is Cultural Factors that Affecting Tourists in Choosing Kelantan as Tourist Destination. In this video, there are 5 chapters that we will explain based on our research, which is Introduction, Literature Review, Methodology, Data Collection and Analysis, and the last one is Conclusion and Recommendation. In this chapter consists of the background of the study, research question and research objective, theoretical framework, hypothesis, and significance of the study. The first one is about background of the study. The tourism industry play an important role in the economy of the developing countries. The tourism sector contributed 84.1 billion to the country economic growth, but in 2020, Malaysia suffered a loss of 3.37 billion in the tourism sector due to coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19. As you can see in the statistic of tourist arrival to Kelantan from 2015 to 2019, Kelantan only showed a decline starting from 2016 until 2019. Kelantan also is a third place in a statistic of tourist arrivals to the east coast of Peninsular Malaysia from 2015 until 2019 compared to Pahang is a first place and Terengganu is second place. Terengganu show a good improvement, which is it increased every year. Similarly, in Pahang, although declines in 2018, but increased back in 2019. But while Kelantan do not show improvement starting from 2016 until 2019.
From the statistic of tourist arrival to the east coast of Peninsular Malaysia, the red one representing Pahang, and the orange one representing Terengganu, and the last one representing Kelantan. We can see here the red one showing that tourist arrival to Pahang show an increasing number every year compared to Terengganu and Kelantan. Kelantan, from what we can say here, is that about 189,000 difference in 2 years, where tourist arrival from 2017 to 2019 showing an decreasing number about 889. Why this happened? Because Kelantan were used as tourism transit only to Terengganu and Thailand, because they just stopped by at Kota Baru using Sultan Ismail Petra airports services to the Perhentian Island in Terengganu without investing in the economy of Kelantan. In order to promote tourism product in Kelantan, the state government need to provide high cost of marketing tools, but due to unstable economic condition, this led to the lack of tourism information in Kelantan, such as the road signage and the condition of terrible road that made the tourists doesn't want to travel to the Kelantan. Other than that, research on which specific cultural factors that affect tourists to select Kelantan as tourism destination seems to be ignored and considered unimportant by the researcher, because some of the researchers only focus on the cultural factors. Less commercialization of cultural tourism product is also the reason why the number of tourist arrival in Kelantan does not increase every year. Lastly, traditional performance slowly being prohibited by PAS after they had governed Kelantan since 1919 because it considered as contradicting with the belief brought by the party.
That is about research objective and research question. The research objective is to examine if cultural factors, tradition and culture, tourism activities, and different cuisine influence tourists to choose Kelantan. And for the research question is, does tradition and culture, tourism activities, and different cuisine influence tourists to choose Kelantan?
The theoretical framework of this study adapted from the past research, where research is conducted in Malacca. Kelantan also is the one of the populous state with several of traditional arts and cultural activity. We are adapting only 3 cultural factors out of 5 elements by eliminating handicraft market and racial diversity for easier to analyze the data in the future.
That is about significance of the study. In this study has two aspects, which is theoretical significance and practical significance. For the theoretical significance, the study also can become reference to other universities, tourists, and other researchers in the same area and purpose to understand the factors that make tourists choose Kelantan. And for the practical significance, government or private sector can have the subsequent improvement of problems that tourism in Kelantan face. This is literature review. Kelantan is divided into 10 districts, and Kelantan is considered as a culture of Malay culture for its rich cultural heritage in the state. The tourists must decide and choose the destination they want to visit. And various tourism activities and food that you can find in Kelantan. For example, the tourism activities is Pesta Wow, and the food is nasi kerabu, nasi dagang, kuih akok, bahulu, and others. In this chapter consists of the research design of the study, the population, the sample size, sampling technique, and the data collection and data analysis plan are also described in this chapter. The first one is about research design. The quantitative analysis performed in the study is data collected from the questionnaire. Cross-sectional study is chosen regarding to the study in identifying the cultural factor in choosing Kelantan as tourist destination. The benefit of adopting survey is that it consumes less time and it uh, in expenses to be conducted, as we will collect data within the period of 3 months from March until July 2020. But due to COVID-19, we will collect data from June until July in a non-country setting, which is in Kota Baru, Kelantan. Second is about population. The major target population is tourists who are visiting Kelantan and visited Kelantan at least one from domestic only. This is because the government has blocked the international tourists to avoid risk COVID-19. So for the unit of analysis is individual because the researcher is interested in investigating tourists who are visiting Kelantan.
Because of this study will utilize multiple linear regression, we are using formula from Tabani and Fidel because it is suitable with our research. The formula is 50 plus AM. M is the number of elements under independent variable. So based on our theoretical framework, we have 3 elements, which is cultural factor, including tradition and culture, different cuisine and tourism activity. So the total of minimum respondent is 74 respondents. The sampling technique will be using non-probability sampling, which is convenience sampling. This type of sampling suits with the current study as it can cover the large number of surveys quickly and cost-effectively. For the instrument, we will do pilot tests to identify any error item in the instrument. The pilot test will be given online to 13 respondents who has been to Kelantan for travelling either alone or by groups. The process of collecting data took 4 weeks, which began 5 July 2020 to 31st July 2020. Two methods of distributing questionnaire during face-to-face distribution by giving directly a survey paper and scanning QR code. Moving to data collection in Chapter 4. There are two stages of analysis in this chapter, which are first stage analysis and second stage analysis. The first stage of analysis begins with reliability tests. From all variables that we can see from the table is that reliability for all is good, since the Cronbach alpha for section A, B, C, and D is more than 0.7, which is ideal. This also indicates that all variables are positively correlated with each other. Since we have distributed about 170 sets of questionnaire, the raw response rate of the percentage is 100%. After screening the invalid questionnaire by screening and cleaning the data of 61 respondents, the total valid questionnaire is 115. This means that 65% of response rate is enough to cover the sample size that we are using earlier from Tabani and Fidel formula.
Is descriptive analysis. The purpose of descriptive analysis is to understand the minimum, maximum, mean, and standard deviation of the question on each variable, which is its dependent and independent variable. Based on Table 4.3, it shows the descriptive data for overall variable. It can be seen that the highest mean of independent variable is different cuisine, which also can be described the highest variable that influence tourists to choose Kelantan as tourist destination with an average mean of 4.48 and the standard deviation is 0.62. Next is table 4.4 show the mean score for the tradition and culture. Most of the respondents agreed with the question number 2, which also can be considered as the highest mean score in the section A with mean 4.22 and the standard deviation is 0.971. Next is table 4.5, which is show the mean score for the tourism activities. Most of the respondents strongly agreed with the question number 4, which mean score is 4.28 and the standard deviation is 0.790, which also can be considered as the highest mean score in the section B of the questionnaire. And the last one is table 4.6, show the mean score of sedition of different cuisine. Most of the respondents strongly agreed with the question number 1, show the means 4.53 and the standard deviation, which also can be considered as the highest mean score in the section C of the questionnaire. Next is second stage analysis. Based on the result that has been analyzed using SPSS, you can see that all of independent variable, which is tradition and culture, tourism activities, different cuisine, has a positive relationship toward their destination choice. Next is demographic profile respondent. The first one is gender. Majority of the respondent is female because female like to travel for release tension, spending time with friends. and shopping. And according to Lee, women make a greater number to travel than men. Second is age. The majority age of group 20 until 29 because from this age there are no barrier to traveling. And the third is ethnicity. Among 150 respondents, 140 respondents participate in the study is Malay with percentage is 99%. Next is employment status. From the percentage, it shows that majority of the respondent is student because students like to travel and to learn new experience. Next is stage. It shows that majority of respondents is from Selangor because based on our research, the people in Selangor travel at Kelantan due to influence from friend and family. And the last one is type of visit. 150 respondents and 52 of the respondents participate in the study is local with percentage is 45%. The last chapter consists of the limitation of the study, recommendation, and conclusion.
To answer the objective of our research achieved or not, we can see from the table here. Let's focus on the mean first, where most of the respondents agreed with what we asked from the questionnaire. The highest mean is 4.48, where the most respondents answered that different cuisine attract them to Kelantan because of the uniqueness in Kelantanese cuisine. The first limitation of our study is that we are lacking of supporting data, such as statistics of tourist arrival are difficult to find on website. Second one is that we are lacking of experience since this is our first experience in doing study research. Next is difficulty in getting cooperation from tourists for our to collect data and information from them. Lastly, due to the COVID-19, we only have a little time to collect data since we need to collect data face to face.
So, for the recommendation is government and the private sector should work together to contribute funds to promote tourism product using the cultural art heritage. And second is government and the private sector also need to work together to create new strategies to the development tourism in Kelantan. So, for the conclusion is, the purpose of the study is to examine which are the cultural factors influence tourists to visit Kelantan and to provide recommendation regarding issue in tourism in Kelantan. To achieve the objective in this research, the right method of analysis will conducted. So, that's all from us. Thank you.